This is all of the girls from the Barbie Looks collection side by side, so we can get a good idea of the array of skin tones and body types that they're working with. So we're gonna take a close-up look, of course, of the new dolls, and we're just gonna give people a chance to jump in. But in the meantime, let's look at the dolls that we have up here. So altogether, I want to say there's 9 of them, and we've got the all of the head sculpts have different names, and they are all new head sculpts for people who are not familiar with them. So right here, this is the Petite Doll from Wave 2, who's got the Tamika sculpt. And then this is the new one here, this one. And she's number, I want to say she's number 12. Hi, Pamsy Horror. We're gonna take a look at these dolls that we've unboxed, and I'm just showing you guys the whole collection of the females from the Barbie Looks series, so you can kind of get an idea of what they all look like next to each other and their different skin tones and body types. So yeah, so the first one is petite, and then this next one is a curvy from Wave 2. I guess the last half of Wave 2. She's doll number 12. And then the next one, this one here, her head sculpt's name is called Frida Duvese Earthen Ring. Hi, and welcome. And, you know, the people that are in here, I don't know who all is in here. I don't really know how to work this thing so good. So don't be surprised if I accidentally kick myself out of my own live, and I'll find my way back, and definitely drop a comment so I know who all is in here, and then you guys can definitely chime in with your thoughts. So the next one here, she's got the, what is the name of this sculpt? It's called, oh, somebody's coming in my house. She's got original body type, and what is the name of her sculpt, you guys? Andra, A-N-D-R-A. And then the next one, this one is part of this last wave as well. She's doll number 10. She's got a tall body, and she's got that deep, the darkest chocolate skin tone ever on any Barbie that we've seen so far, who we have not had any articulated bodies for. Hi, Temperance. So that one, her sculpt name is called Simone. And then the next one by her with the red hair, that one, her head sculpt is called Heidi, and she's also part of the latest wave. So that one is doll number 11. So this is 10, 11, and 12 right here. And then the next one, the tall one, is the sculpt name is called Victoria, and she's also part of wave 1. And this one is part of wave 1 as well, model number 1. And her sculpt's name is Lena. And then we have sculpt named E-L-L-E, and this one is called Kit. And she's also tall. This one's original. So we got tall, original, curvy, petite. So all 4 of the body types that are available for Barbies at this current time are available in this line. You're getting the entire selection of body types and a very large array of skin tones as well. As you guys can see, there's at least 3 characters that could pass for some type of black race, and then we've got at least 2 dolls that can pass for some kind of Hispanic, Latin, mixed kind of race, and then we've got the little Asian over here on the side, and then a few Caucasians. None of these face sculpts are Millie or the equivalent of Millie. There's no Barbie doll character here. So this is a line that is completely functional without any Barbie character holding the weight of the line. Like, you know, when I say that, I mean, like, when you look at the Barbie Extra line, there's tons of dolls in that line. I didn't even know how many there were until I saw a post that Artie did. Go check out her channel, you guys. But she's got the entire collection, and I was looking at her post like, girl, I ain't know with so many of these guys. What the heck? There's so many Barbie Extras, right? But a lot of them have duplicate head sculpts, and there's at least 3 Barbie characters, like with a Millie sculpt, in that line, which to me is just unnecessary. We don't need multiple versions of Barbie for every single line that comes out, because she's like the most like accessible character, you know? And I understand it's Barbie and the brand is Barbie and Barbie. I get it. But I mean, goodness gracious. Enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Just give it to me in small doses. So, that's what we're working with here, just so you guys have a good idea of what all the girls look like. I didn't pull out the boys because that's just not necessary for what I'm doing with these guys today. But I will show you guys the entire collection all together with each other, so you can see how they look when they're posed all together as like a big giant mob, right? Let's see, I got crossing season. Hello, Janine, saying, how am I today? I'm very good today. How are you guys? And I had a kind of like a lazy day, but I was waiting for the shipment to come in, you guys. And like, I don't know what the day to get past me. So I was like, I got to do this stream so people can see what we're working with, so they know what they're getting when there's come. So let's pull these girls out of the line real quick so we can get a closer look. And of course, this one I just added the other day. I didn't give you guys a really good look at her because I was so rushing that day, but that's okay. We're back so we can get a better look. So we've got 10, 11, and 12 of this series. And no, I'm messed up. 10. What did I say? 10, 11, 12. Is that what I said? Okay, that's what it's supposed to be. 10, 11, 12. Those are the models' numbers. If you're looking for them, if you're trying to buy them, that's what you want to be looking up. Model looks, model 12, model 11, whichever one you're missing, okay? And there's, except for her, the other two are in their original condition. I haven't changed them or did anything with them just yet. And goodness, they're so pretty to me. Like, I love their face sculpts. But my favorite things about this one is her hair, because y'all already know I'm like very, 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 very much a sucker for red hair. But what I really like about it is that the texture, the curliness of the hair is like so on point. And the next thing I love about it is that it's actually not red hair. If you look at it real close up, she has like multiple tones of hair in her head, which is like a mixture of some kind of like almost like a blondish kind of color, orange, and like some type of a very subtle reddy kind of color, red burgundy kind of a color. So it's like predominantly the orange, and then it's mixed with a little bit of the red and the blonde too. So you have to get real close up to see it, but it's there. And it's kind of like how her hair is. Like, everybody thought that her hair was just actually red. People thought it was red when they first saw the pictures, like burgundy, but she's actually got mixtures of purple and some other colors in here. So they did the same thing with her hair, in the way that they did the color combinations of the strands. So I really love that. It's subtle, but I like details like that. And you can see that with this wave, the girls have much more noticeable eyeshadow colorings. And thank you for the compliment on her hair, Janine. I don't know what to do with her hair. I don't know. I just gave her some buns, but like, it's really long, you know. I actually curled this hair, but I brushed out the curls because I was getting too curl happy touching it and playing with it. So I had to do it over again, but that's okay. She got a lot of hair to work with. So anyway, yeah. So if you notice, and she's also part of this wave, you guys. Wait, what's that, Jaya? You can come say hi. Jackson wants to say hi to you guys. Come stick your head over here. Let me see.
Hi.
Oh, did you draw that?
Yeah.
Wow, she looks really depressed, but that's what's up. Good job. Okay, so goodness, I just totally lost my train of thought, y'all. But anyways, we're gonna bring it back. Okay. Let's see. Just making sure I didn't miss anybody's comments. If you have questions, if you have something specific that you want to see, go ahead and let me know. I do plan on taking out her ponytail for you guys, both of them, so you can see the density of the hair and all of that. Cynthia W said, hi, beautiful. Hello, beautifuler. Welcome to the show. So, yeah, so leave your comments and questions if you need me to show you something specific that you're wondering about. But Anyway, this wave of dolls, the second wave, these are all the girls from this wave, okay? And Cam, the guy who's supposed to be like a Native American dude with the long hair, he's the boy that's in this wave. So basically this is the whole collection right here of wave 2 for the most part of the girls, and you'll see that they all have very dramatic eyeshadow. Like, look at this one. She's got the, it looks like burgundy and green, and then we got the purple and green combo here. And then she's got, and look at her eyes. It's like the color goes all the way to the side of her head, which I don't know. It kind of was off-putting for me at first when I was looking at it, but I kind of got used to it. And I understand that they're supposed to be kind of looking like they're going out to the club, this particular group. So it's fitting, but don't be put off by the makeup, because if you're not into all this flashy makeup, that's okay. You can minimize some of the makeup by using like a little Q-tip and a toothpick. Roll a piece of Q-tip, you know, cotton onto a toothpick, and then dip it in some nail polish remover, and just very slowly start to erase the lines where you don't want all the color, and you can reduce the dramatic look without having to super customize the doll or repaint the whole face. You don't have to do all of that. Just be careful if you have a magnifying glass, or, you know, if you have something that will help you to see the lines a little bit better, definitely use it in nice lighting. But it can be done, so you don't have to be stuck with the coloring on the eyes if it really bothers you. And yeah, so that's what these guys all kind of have in common with the makeup. So just be prepared for the dramatic looks, because I think those of us who were very used to the looks of wave 1, we kind of expected for the entire collection to duplicate that. And as you can see with the wave 1 girls, they don't have dramatic makeup. Barely any makeup, to be honest. She probably has the most noticeable eyeshadow, but it's not overdone. The colors are very bronzy and like earth tones and metallics, so it looks natural on her. So it's not distracting. So this is like the day look, and then these are like the night look girls. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? You understand what I'm saying? These girls are the ones that have like office jobs, and they have to get up in the morning and go to work on Monday. And these are the girls who boyfriends pay all the bills, and they ain't got time to be worrying about, you know, going to bed on time. So they just like, whatever, party hardy, we're gonna stay out all night. Yeah, screw it. So those girls. That's just how I categorize them in my own head. Let's see. Yes, Cynthia, you made it in time. She said, I wasn't a fan of the petite, but you improved her look for me. Did I? I don't know what I did. Tell me what I did, because I'm not sure what I did. Yeah, and I kind of put them kind of in like similar colors for just for this lineup, so you guys wouldn't get so distracted by a bunch of different colors in their outfits. And I do tend to do that with these dolls when I display them next to each other. It may not always be in like black or like simple colors, but I'll try to stay with a color scheme for them for the most part when I display them, just because I feel like they're just more streamlined when they match, I guess. So she's actually wearing my Vera Wang doll's dress, the robe thing that she came with, but she's not wearing anything underneath, and it's all sheer, like it's totally see-through, so you can see right through this thing. But her skin tone is so dark that it's not a distracting kind of a sheer on her. You know, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I put this on her with nothing underneath, it would be a lot more distracting. But she can get away with it because her skin tone is just so dark. Minnie G said, hi, Gina Casey. How close is number 10 skin tone to the curvy BMR 1959 girl? Okay, so number 10 is this one. The curvy BMR 1959 girl. I'll tell you, it's not close in the sense of they don't match. But let me go and grab her, because I actually have her in another room. Let me show you. Let's see. Let's find it. Where'd you go?
Hi.
Here you go. Okay. I found her. This is why I inventory all the dolls and have them completely, what the heck am I looking at? Oh, how did you do that? That's sick. Okay, hold on a second, you guys. I'm bugging. All right. So yeah, here she is. And she is quite dark, but she's not as dark as number 10. Yeah. And I wanted for this body to match this so bad for the longest because of my rainbow fashionista, rainbow dress fashionista, that I wanted to rebody. And that was not happening. So she just been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And but now finally she has her MTM body, so she's happy. I definitely prefer the makeup on wave 1, but the colors on the second wave adds variety. That's what Janine said, which I agree with. Let's see. Oh, she doesn't look so hard. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I feel you. I feel you on that one. We need a dancer curvy comparison. Dancer curvy comparison. Well, who do you want to compare the dancer Barbie to? Can you do a skin tone comparison for model 11? Okay, so model 11 is this one here. And actually, and I was trying to guess what color she was. So in my assessment, she is the default Barbie skin tone, which is the same skin tone that he's got. And he's on the body of the Barbie looks Ken with the blonde hair from the first wave. So that skin tone is just regular default Barbie, and she looks like she's about the same skin tone as him. So I would go with that. She's not the same skin tone as anyone else that's already in this line, if that makes sense. So there were no default Barbie skin tones for the females until this one. And people say that these two are not the same skin tone. They may not be, but they look so similar to me that I can't tell the difference when I look at them just with my eyes. She seems like she's got a slight yellow tint, but when I compare her to other Made to Move dolls that actually have like that yellow tint, it's she's still more pale, you know? So if you see them next to each other, I don't know if you guys can tell in this lighting, but they're not exactly the same skin color. She's more peachy than she is. But to me, I feel like she is very close to the skin tone. Like they could interchange with each other and nobody would be able to tell the difference. But there may be a slight difference that I'm just not picking up. But anyway, yeah. So for in my opinion, I think she's the default skin tone that Barbie normally comes with. And by that, I mean like if you go to the store and you buy a Millie head sculpt doll off the shelf, almost always they're the same skin tone. Sometimes one is like slightly tan, but it's very rare. It's usually the same skin tone that they use for the Barbie character over and over again. Let's see. So model number 12 and the dancer Barbie. So this is model number 12. And then I do have a dancer Barbie's body I can go and grab and you guys can take a look at them. Victoria looks so much prettier than in the promo pics. Now I kind of want one. Victoria is this one. I changed her hair a little bit because it's not straight. Her hair normally comes very bone straight, but I put some waves in it, and then the way I did it was I just braided her hair. I made small box braids, braided the whole thing up, and then just kind of let it sit like that for a while. And then when I took the braids down, then it was crimply, but look. See the crimples? They're all the way through. I didn't heat set them. I thought maybe I dipped it in hot water, but I don't think I did. I think sometimes when you get dolls with a certain texture of hair, the saran is what I call like moldy, moldable. I don't know. There's a word for it. It's just something I noticed that certain kinds of saran, when you like put it in a bun and then you take it out, the whole thing will just stay in like a twisty kind of a texture. If you put it in a braid and you take it out, it'll stay in the braided, the wave texture, and it just holds the texture until you do something else to it. So as long as you leave it alone, it'll just stay like that. It won't just come out. And she's got that kind of hair. So that's why I think that the braids, were able to get the whole thing like this. I didn't do it intentionally, but when I took the braids down, it was already wavy, and I was like, oh, I like it like that. So I just left her alone like that. But yeah, so we're going to go and grab the dancer doll to see if she's close in complexion, because I'm wondering about that too. And I'll be right back. Let's go grab it. I don't know which doll it is. It's my mini-me. Okay. Found it. I found it. Found it on the shelf. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay. Here we go. So don't worry about her head. Just look at her body. The body is the dancer doll's body. And oh my goodness. What? They're very similar, huh? What? Are they the same? Are my eyes playing tricks on me? Whoa.
Let's see.
They look very, very similar. Maybe they're the same. Do you guys see a difference? I don't see a noticeable difference.
I see a difference.
Wow. What do you see?
Her
The
head
colors,
is...
not the head, the colors of their body. See? Or they look similar?
She is sort of more lighter.
You think she's lighter?
Just a tiny bit lighter.
Are you sure? You're my light. Bikyoba. Kakai bayaji. Oh. It's so hard to tell. I don't know. They look very similar to me, which is pretty interesting. Wow. Okay, if there is a difference, it's so slight, it's very unnoticeable. And I feel like, it's hard to tell, you guys. It's really hard to tell. I don't know. I want to say this one is just a smidge, like a smidge. Possibly a smidge darker. Not even darker, just like a little shinier almost. And this one just seems a little more matte, even though I know that's not true. They're the same texture vinyl, you guys. I'm just talking about the way they appear to my eyes. But it could just be my eyes playing tricks on me because my lighting isn't that great in here. So, to me, they're so similar. I feel like they're interchangeable. And if you were to swap these two, you would not be able to tell the difference. That's just my opinion. Well, I don't know what y'all think. Let's see. Let me answer some questions. Do you have a favorite amongst the signature looks girls? That's a very good question that I do realize now that I had to ponder on this because I knew somebody was going to ask me. And then I'll be like, why you guys ask me these difficult questions? Make me have to think. Okay, so my favorite. I'm only basing this on the faces and nothing else, not their bodies, not even their skin colors. I'm just basing it on the face sculpt, okay? On the face sculpt alone, I would have to say that my favorite one right now, oh, geez, this is hard. It's hard. Okay. Y'all, really, I'm gravitating towards this one. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm gravitating towards this one, but something about her, the expression on the face, to me is like very like Integrity Toys-esque. And I just love Integrity Toys dolls' facial expressions because they just look so serious. And she looks so serious, you know, but she also has like her face has like a lot of different vibes going on. Like on the one hand, she kind of looks like, you know, like a bad girl, but then at the same time, she looks like somebody real elegant, but at the same time, she could pass for somebody who's like real, like sweet, like and quiet. Like, I don't know. She got a lot of different looks going on with this one face. And depending on the hairstyle, the skin tone, this one I feel like would be very versatile in all different skin tones, you know, and hairstyles. So this one stands out to me as the number one face sculpt out of all of them. But I say that extremely loosely because it's not that many points away from the other dolls that I really love in this collection. And I don't like all of them equally. So I'm not saying like, oh, this one is my favorite one if I had to only pick one because I want to pick all of them. No, it's not like that. There are a few that I'll be okay with if I just never saw another doll with that sculpt again. But, but not because I don't like it. It's just like I have one and that's enough. But I'm very intrigued by this sculpt too. And I feel like it's interesting that like they look similar. Like these two look similar to each other, the sculpts, but there's a distinct difference at the same time. And they don't, I don't know, they have their own unique looks, but they're so similar. But I think I like this sculpt better than that sculpt. But I do like this sculpt a lot. She's part of the top few that I really like. I also really like this sculpt. And the only thing about her I would probably change is her lipstick, because I feel like they drew her lips in such a way that she's got this, this crease that's going up like she's smiling. But I'm not a fan of that. I want to get rid of the creases on the sides of her lips and like kind of shrink them down so that they're not smiling, and see how she looks. So I'm going to try that out. And this one also is one of my favorites. Look at those lips. Like, ugh, her face just looks like a real human's face. And she really don't need that much done to it. This is the kind of sculpt that, like, the sculpt is 80% of the work. Most of it's done for you. You just got to stay inside the lines, stay inside the borders, and draw whatever else features you need to add to this face. You know what I'm saying? When it's blank, you just need to draw them eyebrows on, draw them eyes on. You don't even need makeup, eyeshadow. You don't even need all of these different layers, and just tone the lips and you're done. Like, the most natural looking face you can find on a Barbie doll, you know? So this face, I just got a lot of respect for the realism of that face. I love it, but I really like her a lot. And then this one is probably the one that I like the least out of the three that are here, that were released together. But not because I don't like the face. I think she's very pretty, and she actually reminds me of one of my friends. And I'm also considering, I'm thinking about, I don't know if I'm gonna do it, y'all. I'm thinking about turning her into my new mini me instead of this one that I've been using as my mini Gypsy. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Maybe I'll have two. I don't know. Maybe depending on my mood, I'll switch them up. But I like her enough to want to use her for a mini Gypsy doll, of course. So it's not that I don't like the face. I just like her the least out of the three, if that makes sense. These two's faces just intrigue me a little bit more. And she's got a cute face too, but it's not as intriguing to me as the other two. Do you think number 12 would be a decent match for the Platinum Pop Barbie Fashionista? Number 12, let's see. Number 12 is this one. And this head sculpt's name is Frida, for those of you who jumped in after I had already went over their head sculpt names for you guys. But you said for the Platinum Pop Barbie Fashionista, which one is that? I don't know which one that is. Can you describe her to me with more detail? I'm not sure which one it is. I think they are the same, but I think the curvy may be slightly darker. Which one are you talking about? These two, her and the dancer dolls. Um, yeah, more saturated tan. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. The color saturation is slightly more on this one, but not by much. Not by much. I really feel like the heads you were saving to put on your dancer dolls, absolutely you could probably get away with them on this doll, and no one would know the difference. Let's see. Will you look at Miss L's overgrown biggest legs? What? It's probably the pouty lips on the model number 8. I love me some pouty lips. I really do. That's why I love who sculpt do I love? Selma? Oof, goodness, them lips. Anyway, stop getting sidetracked. Amethyst Parkers, I always haven't seen you in like 5 years. I miss you so much. I was like, I've been looking for your page, and you know these YouTube algorithms, but you like way in the back somewhere. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. The algorithm is on some cocaine, you guys. The algorithm is turning against the smaller YouTubers because some reasons. It's money related always, you know. But it is what it is. What can you do about it? You have the Tamika doll in your box. So you don't have one that's loose, Sandra? Her face sculpt can easily be put onto the Rihanna face sculpt. Simone is my new favorite doll. Yeah, this one is Simone, you guys, because Carlos Campos just said that this one is... I said his name so white. Carlos Campos. Forgive me. Carlos Campos, okay? Said Simone is their new favorite doll, and I don't blame you for feeling like that. She's so beautiful. I really want to see what she looks like with like a different face up in this skin tone, and I did get a bunch of this one because I really want to make sure I have enough of these body donors to last me for a while. So I think I am going to experiment and try to repaint one of them just to see what I can come up with. But at this stage, like I haven't repainted dolls in so long that I'm not doing it the same way how I normally would do it. And y'all know how I am. Like I have to have everything like a certain way in order to really get into my zone. So I need the quiet, I need the space, I need this, I need that. And like I just don't have that right now. So I just dabble like here and there. I'll do touch-ups on the face. I won't do a full repaint. I'll just do like little touch-ups. I'm gonna show you guys one that I did that was from a thrift store that I rehabbed. She's kind of sort of done. I think I posted her for you guys that wanted to see the update as I was working on her, but she turned out better than I thought she would. And I was thinking about when I first was like trying to put her together if I was gonna like resell her, but I don't know if I want to. I don't know. I'll show you guys. You tell me what you think. All right. So anyway, Laura C said Barbie looks is the only thing that I like about the dolls I'm Mattel is putting out lately, and in particular, I love Lena, Elle, and Heidi. Yes, I love all of those as well. And we're going to talk about that too, about the dolls that they've been putting out lately. Amethyst said, I'm just smiling from ear to ear. I miss you. I miss you. It's Miss Parker from 17 South. Hi. I miss you too. I miss everybody. That's why I'm so glad I figured out how to do these streams live, because it takes so much more pressure off of me to edit videos when I don't have time. And that's normally why I can't post regular videos, because I'm backed up trying to edit videos and do other things, and it's just not working for me. So not at this time. So this is a better solution for me, I feel like. And I can interact with you guys live, which is like a breath of fresh air. Temperance said the platinum pop has the bright platinum blonde hair with a blue dress. She has a close skipper head mold. I feel like I know which one you're talking about. The one, hold on a second. Don't I have that doll? With the blue dress. Yeah, the blue dress that had like writing on it, right? I think I have that doll. I'm gonna go see if I can find her, because I'm sure I have one. I meant to say the skipper head mold, but with the closed mouth. I'm sorry about that. No, you're good. Carlos said I have a second one and some nylon blonde hair. I'm tempted to reroute the second one. Gosh, and I really want to reroute some of these dolls too. The ones I want to reroute are obviously Kit and potentially Andra. I don't know for sure yet with her, but this one I feel like she'll look a lot cuter with longer hair. I don't know, but the short hair for me just doesn't work with this sculpt. I don't like it. So that's part of the reason why I don't even like display her that much, because her hair be getting on my nerves. But I think I'll do it. I don't know. I'll see. We'll see if I have time. And let me go and grab that doll real quick so I can see if that one matches one of these. I'll be right back. Right back. Right back. We'll be right back. Let's see. Where did I put you? You are somewhere in here. I know where you are. I know where you are. Let's see. She's in here. Platinum. Pop, 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 pop. Where you at? Where you at? Is it this one? I want to say it's this one. It better be. Is it this one? Let me see. Is it this one? Who did her hair like this? Did I do her hair? Who did this doll's hair? I don't know. Goodness, that's how long it's been since I pulled this doll out the drawer. Sheesh. Is this the platinum pop one? Is this what you're talking about? She got like the black roots and then the blonde hair. I don't have her on her original body, obviously. But who am I supposed to be comparing her to again? I'm slow. I'm slow, y'all. I'm slow. To this one, I don't think they're the same. My lighting is starting to change because the sun's going down outside, and I have my window open. But I can tell even in this lighting, they're not the same color. They're slightly different. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not the same. Yeah. That's the right one. It was number 12. Oh, okay. Number 12 is this one. Yeah, she's too dark. They're not the same color either. So this one's a little slightly darker. That's interesting. Wonder why that is. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. did I get the A Francie that came out today? I don't know which doll that is. I didn't know there was a Francie that came out today. Is it like an old school style Barbie that they kind of like? Gina Casey. I like your profile picture. Anyway, is it like an old school style? Like what? How did they style it, or did they like modernize the doll? I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Um, who did I miss a comment from? Let me just check. Remy Shi. I want Kit, but petite. Although I don't have a Made to Move, maybe that will make a difference. Thank you so much for the comparison. I really appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. If I can, I don't mind doing that, you guys. No, I don't know which doll that is, Gina. I have to look it up. And I'm not sure that I was, if I'm thinking of the Francie in my head that I'm thinking of, like with the real long, the long foreheads. I, I don't know if I want to add one of those to my collection. Because I don't know if that face sculpt is something that I'm missing or that I need. I don't know. I have to see. I don't know what the doll looks like. I might feel differently if I see it because sometimes, sometimes I get nostalgic and I'll be like, "Ooh, I miss the dolls from the 90s when I was growing up. I want to get me some of them dolls." And then I will like look them up to see if I can find the ones from my childhood that I'm thinking of. And when I look at them, I'll be like, "Girl, wow, you really had no options back then. Like, you really thought that this was a doll that you absolutely needed to have. And it's not even that serious. Like, I'd be looking at them dolls thinking, like, what was I thinking? Why did I want these?" But that's because now we have options like this that are so much more realistic, and like that's really what I'm into. So when I look at those dolls now, I just get a nice chuckle out of it, remembering what I felt like when I used to have those dolls, or like when I would play with those dolls or see the commercials on TV. That nostalgic feeling is awesome, but it's not to the point where I'm like, yeah, I gotta add one. Like, I don't feel like that. You feel me? Like one of the ones that I used to have was, I used to have the one that had the LA looks written on the dress, and she had like the glitter that came with the long hair. My horrible description. I forget what she was called. Sparkle glitter hair Barbie or something like that. And I was in love with that doll. That was the first Barbie, official Barbie that I had ever had as a child. And I didn't get her until we moved to America, and my aunt on my dad's side, that was like her gift to me, because as soon as we got off the plane, she was like, "Let's go to Toys R Us," and then they let us pick what we wanted. So of course I had my obsessed mind on a Barbie doll for years when I lived in Korea, and I just was never allowed to get one. And you know what's so funny? Hold on, let me just flip this real quick so I can say hi to everybody, because I didn't get to say hi to you guys. But what's so fun, look at this. This is my live on my TV screen. Jackson put it up there because she's like watching it behind me. Anyway, so
Infinite thingy. It keeps making more.
oh my god, it is making more and more and more. This is the weirdest thing ever. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so my parents, they would never buy me a Barbie doll, and they would take me to like the American toy store on the army base, and we would just be like window shopping most of the time. And then sometimes my dad would tell us that we could pick stuff out, but I swear, like I swear he wouldn't let me buy a Barbie doll, because I can't imagine I wouldn't tell him that I would want a Barbie doll if he's letting us pick toys in my memory. But when I asked my mother about it, and I did it on camera so that I could like catch my real reaction to it in the moment, I asked my mom, I was like, "How come you guys never bought me a Barbie?" And she was like, "You never asked for one." I was like, "That's not true." She's like, "You never asked for one. If you asked us for one, we would have got you one." I'm like, "What?" Like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah, you never asked us." I'm like, "Oh, that's weird. Why would I not ask them for one?" Maybe I thought that they weren't gonna buy it for me because maybe it was expensive or something. I don't know what was going on in my head, but I swear, like I was like obsessed, and they just would not buy me one. But anyway, Ramon Lima said, "I have Asperger's also." Yeah. Yay for Aspies. People always talk about Asperger's and stuff like it's like a debilitating disability. It's only a disability because we don't live in a Aspie accommodating world, you know? Neurotypical people run everything. That's the only reason why it feels like it's a disability. But if we can control our environment, we excel. So it's not really a disability if you have the right tools around you to function. But we just don't live in that kind of world. So for I guess it's a disability. But it's really just the way you think. The wiring in your brain is a little different than other people's, and so you don't process information and stimuli the same way everybody else does. Um let's see. The face up on her is pretty. The Francie. I have to go and look at it because y'all making me wonder. Oh, but speaking of dolls that I do want, let me tell you what I do want. I do want. Have you guys seen? Okay, so go to, if you haven't, go to Barbie's GBF Instagram and or here on YouTube, and on his community tabs he puts a lot of posts about like new dolls that are coming out and things like that. But the holiday Barbie series for 2022, y'all, I haven't been into holiday Barbies in so long. Like the last one I got was probably the one with the mermaid sculpt, that was in like the red dress, I want to say. So yeah, it's been a while, but that's just because their head sculpts are so redundant, and I can get most of them on Fashionistas that I'm not interested. And I never get holiday dolls for their dresses because I don't care. And they always come out the box. They always get stripped out of the clothes. They always get a body transplant. So I don't really need the clothes that they come with. But there's 5 released for this year, and 4 out of the 5 of them to me is garbage. But the one that's supposed to be a, I don't know if it's a Walmart exclusive. I don't know where they're going to be selling it. I haven't seen a listing for it anywhere. But she's got the Odile head sculpt. And Odile is a sculpt that's on my grail list. So I got to have that one. And she's got red hair. Stop it. Because the shade of red that her hair is, and the style of it reminds me of like the Ariel Disney princess dolls. And I've been looking for Ariel for the longest, and I just cannot find the one with the sculpt that I like. So I haven't bought one because I really love Ariel's character. But that doll, I was like, girl, she could totally just pass for a mermaid Ariel character if you dressed her the right way, if you were into that. And she's really cute. And like the Odile sculpt is only ever been used on one other doll, which is called the Flight of Fashion Barbie. And I think that's the only head sculpt where you can see the Odile sculpt on. But she's like $200. So like I'm not spending that kind of money on that doll just for her head. Get out of here. And that particular version of her is like kind of like fantastical looking, like a fairy or something. So I already know I'm gonna take her out the box and swap everything on her. I don't have no use for her original clothes or none of that. So like, why am I spending $200 on you? I'm not. But this doll that's coming out, if I find her someplace, oh, definitely I gotta scoop that one up because that sculpt is on my grail list. So I gotta have her. You feel me? She's so cute. I really like her a lot. Amethyst said, no, we don't. It's a mental state. I am a mosaic Aspie. Are you still in Wilmington? Is that what you're asking me? We're in Washington. We're in Washington State, in on the West Coast, near California and all of that. Washington is the state that's all the way at the top of the country on this end, and like the only thing above us is Canada. But this is actually my birth state, which a lot of people don't know. I was born in Tacoma, Washington, and then my family moved to the East Coast when I was a baby. So I don't have any memories of this place. And then I came here as an adult to visit one time because my mom, my Korean side of the family, moved from Korea to here, thinking probably that it was like, oh, we're going to America and Gypsy's there. Then they got here and they were like, oh, wait a minute. Washington and New York are like worlds apart. What the heck? They didn't realize how big this country is. You know, South Korea, where my mom's family is from, it's a small country. It's smaller than New York State. It's very small. So when you are from a country that tiny, where it's like the size is smaller than the size of a New York, than an American state, and then you move to a country that's so many more times bigger than that, how many more times is the rest of the United States compared to New York? You know what I'm saying? Hundreds, thousands, like so much bigger, right? How overwhelming. So when you're looking at a map and you're like, oh, this is Washington and this is New York, and you're comparing that to like Korea, this is Seoul and this is the other, and it's 2 different worlds. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't know that. So when they came here, they settled in over here, and then I just, all the years had gone by and I just haven't seen them. I didn't really interact with them. We call each other, of course, and like write each other letters and things like that. And my cousins and I were always like following each other on Facebook and stuff like that. But we physically weren't around each other. So finally, now I had the opportunity to come to Washington State, and I'm so glad that I did. I kind of had mixed feelings about it when we first came out here, but I'm glad I did because I don't know when I'll have an opportunity like this to have my children exposed to the side of my family and have access to them. My cousins, that the last time I saw them, they were children, they were small kids, and of course, so was I, but to be around each other as adults, it's different having like that kind of support around you. And it's just it's a feeling that like I can't describe, because I'm realizing how blessed I am in the relationships that I have with my family members that a lot of people don't have. And it's not normal to be this close to your family that are like family you haven't even been around for most of your life. You know what I'm saying? I built my bonds with these guys to until the age of, I want to say like 8, because I turned 9 in America. So I only got a short amount of time around them, and it was enough to build such a close bond that even as an adult, I can just pick up where I left off with them. They're reliable. They help me. I help them. And they treat my children like they treated me and my sister when we were coming up. Like, you just really feel like you belong and are appreciated and loved for who you are, you know? So that's how I feel around my family on both sides, my mom's side and my dad's side. And that's really amazing to have that. I don't think I ever understood how precious that is to have until recently, you know. So yeah, we did move. We moved to Washington to be closer to my Korean side of the family, and my grandmother was here when we first came out here, but 4 months after we moved here she died. So she was like 87 when she died, but I mean, she's like a legend in my family. My husband says she's the real G. She's a gangster. Because my grandma, man, you should see the things she accomplished with a 3rd grade education. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nobody on the side of my family compares to how my grandmother was, the way she thought. Like, who knows? I used to always say, like, maybe my grandma had Asperger's too, and it's hereditary. So like in her time, nobody knew what autism or Asperger's was. Why would they have a diagnosis of that back then? But the way her mind was, like, she just, I swear she was a genius. Like, she would like, it's crazy the stuff that she accomplished in her life. You wouldn't believe it. It's crazy. And she had like 6 kids. So how'd you do all of that, right? She's definitely the matriarch of our family. The Walmart Holiday Barbie is such a must-have. I'm willing to buy her at retail. I know, Janine. Janine, can you please stop reading my mind? Can you please stop? Like, you guys, sometimes I'll be suspecting that Janine is like... Janine is like the past version of me reborn or something like that, because I swear, like, everything she says I'd be like, right? Right? Oh my god. So yeah, seriously, everything. Let's see, I'm a West Coast baby from Los Angeles. I gotta catch up. When I subbed your channel back in the day, y'all were in North Carolina. We sure was. And we actually started off in New York. So yeah, from the start of this channel. So we've had a few moves. I'm so happy for you. Well, I guess I will brush past paths with you when I get to the West Coast, if I ever go. It's been 30 something years. I love it here. I don't like that it rains so much in Washington State, but I really like the vibe out here. The people are so much more friendly, and like, they're diverse. The people here are like these dolls, you guys. They're so diverse here. And you know what's so exciting about the diversity here is that it's not concentrated within each group. Like on the East Coast, I noticed that there's a lot of different races of people, but a lot of them just kind of stick together. So even though you all live in the same neighborhood, you don't always mingle with them. It's like the Asians stick to themselves, and the black folks stick to themselves, and the Hispanics stick to themselves. And of course you get people who cross mingle here and there, but it's not a regular thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's a thing in New York to be like, oh, that's the Puerto Rican side of town. that's the Nigerian side of town. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a thing on the East Coast. But over here, I noticed that even though we have that, we have like the Filipino part of town, the Mexican part of town. We have that here. But when you go to those places, you don't only see people that look like each other hanging out. You see many mixtures of people with each other. And I constantly run into Blasians out here. Like, it ain't nothing. Like, it was so rare to see somebody who was half black and Asian, any kind of Asian, not just Korean. Any kind of Asian and black was so rare to find when I lived on the East Coast. Most of my life I've lived on the East Coast. And here, every day I run into someone that I can just look at them and be like, yeah, you half black and half Filipino. Mm-hmm. Yep, she's Samoan and black. Yep, that one over there, she's Japanese and black. Like, you can just tell when you look at them, you can see the features, and I just feel like I blend in a lot better out here than I was feeling when I lived on the East Coast. I don't look so much like a weirdo. Not that I ever, and like, you're not a weirdo, of course, when you're mixed, but other people will treat you like, what are you doing here? Where do you belong? You know what I'm saying? I know where I belong, but just because the other person doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, I have to answer for, I gotta explain what I am to people. And that gets old after a while. But here, I don't have to do that. Like, people will just assume that I'm Filipino. They'll just assume that I'm like, Hawaiian or whatever these people are out here, because we look similar to each other. So it just blends, I guess. So it's interesting to see that difference in how the diverse groups of people keep their cultures but also mingle with one another, and they get along, and it's really beautiful to see. So it reminds me a lot of the dolls that I collect, because that's what I'm reflecting in my collection. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any more comments. Yes.
After this drink, can we go to the buffet?
The buffet?
Yeah.
Where are you coming from with this stuff? Huh? You mad random, Jackson. You asking the wrong one. Don't be asking me. You gotta ask your dad. I don't know why you be asking me these questions. It ain't up to me. Appa's at work. He's gotta work. He's gotta stop his shift to take you to the buffet.
Can't you just live?
No. He's got the car. What are you talking about? You're just hungry. Go find something to eat. You don't need to go to the buffet right now. Come on. On the West Coast is much different. When I moved to the East Coast, it was a culture shock for me because I was used to seeing a rainbow of people, and then I came here, everything was black and white. Yeah, amethyst, you know what I'm talking about. Red, brown, even though, and it really threw people off because I'm Nigerian and Cantonese, and oh, really? Really? Okay. Wait, so then you're a Blasian too. My parents are born and raised in Chicago, but my grandma on my mom's side is from Mississippi. That's Lauren saying that. Hi, Lauren. Raised Afro-Latino. Yeah, that's what's up. I really love that. I love that people can balance multiple cultures, and it's not this, what do they call it? Identity crisis. That's so annoying when people say things like that. If you have mixed kids, they're gonna have an identity crisis. Why? Unless you let them. I just pulled her out. This is a BMR doll, just to see, because I felt like their skin tones looked similar, but actually they're a little bit different in hue. The shade of the color looks similar, but the hue is slightly different. I can't explain the difference between a hue and a shade, so if you don't know, you're gonna have to look that up. It's too much to explain. But anyways, they don't match in a nutshell. I was just curious though, so I pulled her out to take a look. Yeah. Anyway, I gotta take these ponytails out of their hair so we can get a look at that real quick before we get out of here. And I know you guys can see my power pair guys back there. I was gonna rebody them because I finally lost enough weight for me to debox them. What I did was I challenged myself to wait until I had lost a certain amount of weight and then reward myself with opening those dolls, because I know I'm going to want to instantaneously customize them, and I just would not be able to, resist. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait until I lose this amount of weight, and then when I get down to that weight, then I'll open it. And so finally, it took, y'all, I'm not even playing with you. It literally took freaking 2 months for me to lose only 10 pounds. 10 pounds. That's all I wanted to lose. 10 pounds. And just forever. Forever. And like, I'm so frustrated. I'm frustrated though, because there was a time a few years ago when I actually lost 20 pounds in 1 month. And I was like, oh, word? I didn't know you could even do that. So I think I always have that as like my measurement in my mind of how much weight I want to, like the what do you call it? The rate at which I'm trying to lose my weight. And I was just so like annoyed because it was taking so long for me to get rid of 10 pounds. Jeez. So annoying, but that's okay. And it worked because, the incentive of trying to open up the dolls kept me on course, and I wasn't skipping a bunch of days and forgetting about my routine and slacking off and being lazy. So it did work. So I don't know. I just sharing that with you guys in case some of you guys are struggling with trying to change something or break out of a habit, whatever it is, or learn something. If you're trying to better yourself in some way and you can't figure out a way to motivate yourself, maybe you can do it with dolls. Maybe you can motivate yourself by treating yourself some dolls. All right, let's take a look at this hair. What's going on here, lady? What we got going on? You got some bald spots? What's happening? It looks pretty full. It looks pretty full. Of course, the curls could be tricking us because they're big and bushy and they take up a lot of space. But as you can see, the part that's rooted is not curly. This part up here is straight. So based on what I can see, it looks like a pretty full head of hair. And I don't see major spots that are going to be a concern when you're parting the doll's hair. How about in the front? Because that could be an issue up here in the front. Like, see here? There's like a chunk here. Come on. And in the front, I'm not really surprised that the hair is rooted sparsely in the front because the ponytail that she had was very tight. And normally when you see the dolls with the real tight ponytails, they do end up having sparse rooting. Why am I not focused? Hello? Hello? Hold on. While this thing is trying to focus, let me read your comments because I know I missed some. Project Fashion. Do you have any Korean Mimi dolls in your collection? What are your thoughts on them, if any? That's a great question. I grew up with Mimi dolls as a kid. Those were my substitute for Barbies, was Mimi. Of course, because it was the most accessible fashion dolls in Korea. But when I was a kid, I wasn't that picky about the kinds of dolls that I was playing with. But back then, I remember thinking that Mimi reminded me of what I perceived as how Koreans think white people look. So I didn't know if Mimi was supposed to be an Asian girl or an American girl or what. I couldn't really tell when I would look at those dolls who she was supposed to be representing, because to me, she didn't even represent the race of the country where she was being sold. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I just couldn't relate, but she was a cute character. Like, the faces were cute, like cartoon characters. So I liked them and I would play with them. As an adult, I did purchase one Mimi doll, and I think I got her on Amazon, perhaps. I was disappointed because the clothing was like the best thing about the doll, but like the doll itself, the body was really strange. It was like a weird shape, like very disproportionate looking, like the legs were too skinny. And then I had like the kind of arms where it's not joints, it's like something in here that's like flexible, so when you move the arm, it'll stay in that position, but it'll like slowly bend itself back, like it's like rubbery, you know what I mean? She had she had those kind of limbs. And on top of that, her hair was so poorly rooted. There was so many like big bald gaping spots in her head, and I was like, ew. What gross, you know what I'm saying? But I think Mimi has potential if you're a custom doll artist that can hybrid the head with a different body and reroot the hair and just completely rehab the doll. If you change Mimi from her original state, then she's awesome. But as is, to me, she just has no functionality. So I wouldn't add any more Mimis to my collection. But again, out of nostalgia, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get me a Mimi doll. And I think I actually posted the review of that doll here. It was a few years ago. But I was really disappointed. Now, could their quality have changed since I bought that doll? Perhaps. But it's been like 20 years since I actually played with a Mimi. And in that time frame, at least the doll that I found wasn't that much of an upgrade from what I remember as a kid. So I highly doubt it. But that's just my opinion about it. One has a cool tone and one has a warm tone. Yeah, that's, you see, the artists know what I'm talking about. Mixed people will only have identity crisis if they're not raised with their cultures or live in communities where you have to assimilate to status quo stereotypes. Ooh, Janine, that's interesting that you said that, because something I noticed too, especially on the East Coast, is that a lot of times it's your own racial groups that force you or pressure you into assimilating into their, like you said, stereotypes. And it's mind boggling because you're like, why are you being mean to me? Like, you black like me, you Asian like me. Why are you being mean to me? You Spanish like me. Why are you being mean to me because I'm mixed and I don't fit into whatever category you think I should fit into? You know what I mean? Like, for me, for example, now, I wasn't always, but at this point in my life, I'm a Muslim. And like when I am around Koreans, I don't eat pork. So when I'm around Korean people, and Koreans bond a lot over food, they make a lot of porky stuff. And like I'll have to explain to them like I don't eat pork. And they'll look at me like I'm nuts. And even when I say, well, it's for religious reasons, do you think they care? No, they still will roll their eyes at me and be like, what kind of Korean don't eat pork though? Just eat it this one time. I've had Korean people literally say that to me. Just eat it this one time. They've even said, what if I don't tell you that it's pork? Can you eat it then? Oh Lord, can you just respect my difference? Can you just do that? Can you just be tolerable? No. And I get the same thing from black people are a lot more aggressive with it too. They'll just tell you right to your face, you ain't black. They'll just tell you to your face, you ain't black enough. Why you talking like a white girl? And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? How you figure? You know what I'm saying? My DNA don't count? Okay. If you say so. It's ridiculous. Anyways, and this is why I'm always pushing for diversity and representing diversity, because it comes in so many different forms. And a lot of people, especially here in America, black people and white people, we don't even understand how mixed a lot of us are because it's lost in our family histories. You don't hear nobody talking about it. So you don't realize, even though on the outside you might look like her, on the inside you part Chinese. You might not even realize that about yourself. You part Puerto Rican. You don't even know that. You don't even know you got a grandparent who's from Ireland. You know what I'm saying? Talking all of this junk, bothering people, and it's like, relax. If only you knew. You guys ever see those videos where like the racist redneck finds out when he gets a DNA test done that he's like 1/16 black, and he has a whole he just looked defeated. Like, that's what I be imagining sometimes with people. Like, if only you knew. You mix too. You just don't know what you mix with. I just know what I'm mixed with. Don't hate. You know what I'm saying? Don't be mad because I know where I'm from. Um, let's see. Don't get at me. I was wondering the whole time why this was live and you had natural sunlight. It's live because I can't edit videos right now. That's why. Um, any suggestions for handbooks for Kens? Oh, that's a good question, Minnie G. That's a good question, which I have no answer for because my male dolls that wear hanbok, my son made me those outfits from scratch. So, and he makes hanbok clothes for himself to wear, and his like friends at school, he sells them to them. So I was like, well, bruh, if you're gonna make it for yourself, you can make a little mini version for me. So I gave him some dolls to dress for me, and he created the hanboks for me from scratch. So I don't know where you could buy hanbok for Kens, but I highly suggest check out eBay because that's where I found the hanbok dresses that I got for my female dolls. And I'm sure they must have some for the males, maybe not all the time, but every once in a while I imagine there must be some. And then another place I would probably look is places that either ship from Korea or that have Korean artists that are creating the stuff from scratch, like how my son did for me. I would go look on Etsy and see if you can find artists that you can either commission to create them for you or that are already selling some that they made, because I'm sure that there are some. Mimi was the inspiration for Cynthia doll. I see Etsy Leo DiCaprio doll head. Really? That's so wonderful that your son made some for your Ken dolls. You have shown his work in other videos and he's so talented. Yeah, my son, he can make anything. He can really, he can draw anything, whatever you think of, whatever your concept is. If you just verbally describe to him, hey, I want a little girl who's wearing a purple shirt with pigtails, she's holding a lollipop, she's crying, and on her shirt there's a unicorn on it. Like, he'll take your description, come up with a sketch, and be like, what do you think? It'll blow your mind just while it's in sketch form because it's so much better than what you imagine in your own head. Or like, I'll say, oh, I want this character. I want the bunny from the Tricks commercials of like wearing a chain and a fitted hat and with turntables in front of him, and like he'll make it. And I don't know how he does it, but he does it, and he does a lot of the stuff like digitally. Like he does a lot of stuff on his tablet. Just let me see for an example. Hang on a second, y'all. All right, here we go. See, like this is something that he drew on his tablet, and he's got an app that he uses that allows him to change the stylus's strokes to any kind of brush stroke that he wants. So he can make it look like any style of painting that he wants it to look like, depending on what he's trying to create. And let me see if I can find something else. And like this is another portrait that he made of himself, but he made it in the style of those old-fashioned paintings that Koreans used to do back in the day, like the watercolor paintings that they used to do, where they have like some scholar sitting looking all thoughtful. So he drew himself like that, like a traditional painting almost. But you know, I don't know how he does it, but he's really good at it. And he's not the only artist in our family. We have a bunch of other artists in our family, but he's the only one that I know of that's doing it the way he's doing it, using technology to kind of push his art forward. Like my mom, she's an artist, but she does everything by hand, and her forte is like fine arts. So she does like sculpting and painting and things like that. But me and my sister, you know, we can draw, but we've never really been into it. Like we don't have the passion for it to like do it. And I like to draw portraits, so sometimes I'll make a portrait of someone, but like it takes so long to finish that I just lose interest. I don't have the patience, you guys. I'm very impatient. And I don't know how these kids do it. Like even my daughter, her skills is not where my son's is right now, but the speed with which they will draw and like the expressions on the faces of the characters that they know how to do, I just be like, how do you guys do that so fast? You know, I don't know. They just rush through the drawing, but it still looks accurate. And I'm like, how do you guys do that? I didn't teach them to do that. Yeah, I see. You got pages and pages and pages over there. It's really mind-boggling. My son has Asperger's too. I don't know if that's part of what helps him to do that, but this is why I say Asperger's is not really a disability. It is, but it isn't, you know? It's a disability only in the sense of when you're trying to do what everyone else wants you to do, it may be some challenges, but if you're doing what you want to do, ain't no challenge. you right on point. Ooh, her hair is smooth. Oh my goodness, she ain't got no product in it either. Ooh, it's very, oh Lord. Okay, hello. Hey. Hi, how you doing? Ooh, she's sexy. Look at this dress on her too. I forgot to show you guys. Look at how juicy she is. Just why? Oh my Lord. And this dress down here, the way that the elastic is, the way that it kind of like hugs the body of the doll, it doesn't really leave room for you to move the doll's legs that much. So just, you know, keep that in mind. It's going to be restricted because of the way that the cinching here is going on, and it like keeps the doll's legs together for the most part. She can still split it, but just not as much as you might be able to do if she had a looser fitting dress here. But she's really pretty. Oh my goodness, this dress is really nicely designed for this body type. It's very what do you call it, accentuating, is that a word? It is now. Yeah, so I love the way it looks. I like her hair down a lot better. Ooh, why did they tie it up in that ponytail? Like, bruh, she looks way better with her hair down. I'm gonna pierce her ears too. Somebody said something that I missed. Hold on. Hala, hala, hala. Do you want to go to your room and hang out in there? Oh, okay. So, you can go in my room. Let's see. His dedication to detail, the historical art style is amazing. I think it's so cool that you have art in common with your children and your mom. Thank you, Temperance, for saying that. And, you know, sometimes I'll look through Genu's, like, sketchbooks and see the kind of stuff he's doodling. It's just, it's interesting because to me, when I look at his art, it's almost like a diary, like a glimpse into his mind. And for me, I used to do that with poetry. Hi, Dollicious. Hi, Hazik. the the poetry, like spoken word poetry, I used to do that a lot when I was a teenager, and that was my way of like expressing myself verbally without expressing myself directly, because I used to be like a huge journal writer, and like I used to love keeping a diary and all of that. But y'all, ugh, one time my mother found my diary. She got all upset about something I wrote in there, which probably had a lot to do with her weirdo boyfriend at the time. And she told me, if you write negative things in your diary, then you're gonna just have a bunch of negative things happening to you because you're causing yourself to have bad luck. This, I'm not even kidding. This is exactly what my mother said to me, okay? Now, at the time, I was probably like 13, 14 years old. And I'm like, what are you talking about, lady? Like, what? That is not a thing. What are you talking about? Well, I'm going to argue with her. She's my mom. So I didn't have no choice. She literally made me tear up the pages of my diary in front of her and throw them in the garbage can. And I was like crying. Like, who does this? Okay? I'm not allowed to have free thoughts. What kind of communist behavior is this? This is the life I was living, you guys. Oh my gosh. So can you imagine? And like now I know like my IQ is really high. Now I know that, but back then, of course, I don't know. I'm just in my own thoughts. So can you imagine like my brain was just nonstop, moving, thoughts, thoughts, thoughts. I have to get it out and I can't talk to her because she's nuts. So I have to do it some other way. And that was my way, by writing it down. But I couldn't do that because my mother was a party pooper and she didn't want me to have my own free thoughts. So what I did was I hid my diary entries inside of prose. I would just write poetry and make it seem like I was telling a story about someone else. So that way, when she found the pages and she was like, "What is this stuff you're writing about?" I could just be like, "Oh, mom, that's just poems. What you talking about? That ain't real." It's just it's like music. It's like song lyrics. It worked. She left me alone, and I had books and books and books full of poetry. And of course, I was performing them when I was in high school, going to different like poetry readings and slams and things like that, and doing all of that. It was a lot of fun, but that was my way of expressing myself without directly doing it and capturing my thoughts. Now, when I find my old poetry and I look back at it, I remember different things in my life that was going on that made me symbolize or like write certain things, or a certain character that I had named in a poem that was really representing someone I knew who had done something that I wanted to, document, I guess. So that was my way of doing that. Let's see. But yeah, so the creativity, like when I see those old poems and I'm like, yeah, this is the state of mind I was in when I saw that. That's kind of how I feel when I look at my son's artwork now, where I'm like, yeah, okay, this is like what's going on in his head, or this is something that's interesting to him, or this is something that he's curious about. And I love that. And a lot of the stuff that he does with his art is a reflection of like his cultures he wants to explore and learn more about, religion, philosophy. Like these are the kinds of things he represents in his artwork, which makes me feel like, okay, he's headed in the right direction. His head is on straight. Like if he was making a bunch of pictures of a bunch of thug dudes with guns and smoking, and a bunch of video vixen chicks with their booties hanging out, like if that was the kind of art that he was doing, I would be a little more concerned, because I'd be like, great, the artwork is great, but what's on your mind? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is everybody in your pictures robbing banks? What's going on? But that's not what I see in his artwork. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. I know I'm being so long-winded, but that's what I'm trying to get at. You can kind of tell where the person's head is at, right? The hair down makes a huge difference for her. That's what Janine just said. And let's see, Lauren said, my gamer school, my classmate made an aerial picture now as adult. I wish I still had it. He looked at the picture and drew it. Oh, nah, Delicious, you're not late. You right on time. You right on time, because you came and got to see all the good stuff. Let's see. Shayva Jimenez. I wonder what the redhead would look like with her smoothed down a bit. Her hair smoothed down a bit. Yeah, because it's very crazy looking. And this hair kind of reminds me of the Fashionistas dolls with the real light skin color, like the albino skin color, that were supposed to be Nikki sculpts. They they had hair like this, those fashionistas. And if you guys follow me here, my twin characters, Reagan and Sierra, they're supposed to be sisters. They have hair like this, but this hair to me feels softer than that hair, and the curls are not as defined. And it could just be because it came out of the box, but it seems more bushy. And definitely it needs a like a restyling. Like I would probably coat this in some water and like let it kind of settle itself, relax a little bit. So we'll see. I'll take some more pictures once I get a look down for her and post them here so you guys can look at them in the community tab. But also, if you're not following us on Instagram at Broken Dolly TV, I also post pictures over there too. So I post pictures more often on, I don't think I post more often on either site, to be honest. Not right now. I feel like it's equal. Sometimes I'll post over here and not over there, and sometimes I'll post there and not here. So it's kind of equal, and sometimes I'll post on both. Let's see. What is Turning Red from Pixar? I don't know what that is. I'm glad you were able to find a new way to express yourself and what you were going through. Thank you, Temperance. Minnie G, totally relate to the journal invasion. Really? Really? I really thought I was the only person that had that kind of experience. That's crazy. Heidi skin tone, I think she is the default Barbie doll skin tone. And actually earlier was comparing her to him, who also has that same skin tone, and they look very similar in color to me. So I think that she matches just a regular Barbie color. All three with their hair down, especially number 12. It looks like a really nice wave. I love it. The albino face sculpt with Albus open mouth Selma. Well, not that one, but what the one I'm talking about is the I don't know the name of the fashionista, because she didn't have, I don't think that those dolls had numbers that they were going by. They had descriptors like Party Glam or something like that was the name of that one. And she had on a dress. It was a one piece where the top half of the dress was black, and then the bottom half of the dress was like geometric shapes in blues and black and some other kind of color. So those dolls had this big poofy afro hairstyle that was like this, like the promo pictures. The hair's like real big like this, and it was this kind of texture. The style looked like an afro, but it wasn't afro hair. It was actual curls. So I have those dolls, but like that's the kind of hair that this reminds me of. But those dolls' hair is not as soft as this hair is. I'm debating getting her. I only ordered tall looks and not sure I want curvy looks. Infinite Star said, this is how I feel about these dolls. Honestly, I don't know if this is true. We hear rumors that this is the last of these dolls and we're not going to see any more Barbie looks. I pray that that's really just a horrible rumor, but because I'm not a Mattel reacher, I'm not going to just hope, and wish on a star. I have to go with the trends, and Mattel has a trend of just stopping lines that are really popular, really well loved, and they'll just come out with one or two waves, and then that's the end of it. We've seen that with the BMR 1959 line. That's a very recent line that came out right before this one, and after wave, what was it, 3, that was the end of it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were disappointed because all of the BMR dolls came default with made to move bodies and different skin tones and shapes. And boy, that was a breath of fresh air to us adult collectors, right? So, and the prices for those, they were like $30 retail when they first came out. It wasn't a joke, but people were adding them. They were adding them. So Mattel knows what we want, but like I think they just play this little game with us where they hear us complaining about things, and when too many of us too often won't shut up about it, and we just keep whining because we have such influence over each other to literally just boycott certain dolls if we don't like something about it, or not purchase certain things. They know what the trends are. So like, because they don't like the bad press, when I say press, I mean like, y'all, I don't mean like TV, I don't mean news, I mean social media, influencers, content creators, people who post all the time on their social media for their dolls. Y'all have influence over each other. Like those of you who jumped in here and said, hey, have you seen that Francie doll? No, I haven't, but because you are talking about it, because you're recommending it as my fellow doll collector, I'm gonna take you serious. I'm gonna go and look it up. I'm gonna go and find out. You know what I'm saying? You know, if Barbie's GBF hadn't posted that picture with that Odile sculpt in the holiday 2022 series, maybe I wouldn't, they wouldn't even be on my radar because I don't like the holiday dolls anyway. You know what I'm saying? So the influence that we have on one another, hey, if you don't like this doll because she doesn't have articulation, that's okay. Buy her and hybrid her with this doll and then she'll have articulation. We are influencing one another. So that could be bad for business if too many people are whining about your product, and it's bad for business. It's a business move. So I think every so often they will just come out and give us some spectacular thing that we just, oh yeah, we've been complaining about it for so long. Ooh, finally, yes, yeah, you got a made to move doll with this dark skin tone. Thank you, Jesus. And then they'll pacify us for a little while. Then they'll just cut those lines off because they don't really care. You know, they don't want to sell these kinds of dolls for $20 each when they can sell you some Barbie Extra doll with inferior, you know, joints and cheap stuff that they come with for $30-$40. Like, that's a better turnaround for them because it costs them the same thing to make this doll or that doll. It all costs the same to them. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It is what it is. And if you understand how business works, then you're not going to take it personal. But don't be surprised when you don't see them anymore. And then later, if you change your mind, it's like you can afford to throw $20 in the garbage. You do it every time you buy something out to eat that you don't really need. You can just go home and cook. But it's more convenient, so you bought something today, you know? So we'll just throw $20 in a garbage can and not even think about it. And then when it comes to something like this later, like 3 years down the line, when you're like, oh man, I got a doll that has a beautiful face, but she's on a stiff ass body and I need to have this doll's body to put that on, like the dancer dolls. Remember how like difficult it was for people to get them? As soon as they came out, it was hard to get. We've had too many moments like that with Mattel at this stage that if you're new to the doll collecting game, then you need to know this. But if you're not new, you have no excuse not to know this. Like, you've been in it too long to be having this much faith. You need to know. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I look at this series. It's not so much that I want them only for them, because some of these dolls, like I said, I like some better than others. Some of these dolls, if I don't see their face sculpts every day, I'm not going to cry about it. But the skin tones and the joints is what really I'm drawn to. So as a backup for body donors, I don't see why not. If as pure body donors, even if you hate all of them and you're like, none of them is my style, I don't like any of them. For $20, the clothing that they're coming with and the bodies that they're coming with, it's worth it to have on stash. If you don't like the faces, you can just sell them on eBay. Sell them on eBay. There's people in other countries that will buy just the head by itself for $20. And they think it's a steal. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't get them where they're at. So, you know, your trash is somebody else's treasure. So don't look at it like it's a waste, even if you invest $20 a pop on them and you just remove all the heads and sell the heads back to the doll community for $20 each. It's like you got a bunch of free bodies, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal. So, and don't get me wrong, you guys. When you buy stuff online, you know, certain things, you can't be afraid to charge what you need to charge for them and then be like, oh, I can't sell the head for $20 because it doesn't come with a body. Just stop it. We're talking about business here, okay? A lot of the people that buy the parts of the dolls online, they're hybriding the dolls in the first place. And a lot of them are customizers. They're people who are reselling your doll parts. So even if they bought this head for $20, after they finish doing whatever they do to it, give it new hair, put it on a new body, redress it, they're reselling that doll for $100. So it's not a loss. It's not a big deal to them. You know what I'm saying? Everyone who buys dolls is not buying them for the same reasons you're buying them. So don't feel bad. And you have to charge what you got to charge because you have to ship and because there's fees that are being charged to the people who sell on these sites. So if you're not factoring all of that in when you're charging people for your dolly parts, then you're just giving it away for free, and or in some cases you're paying the next person to take your trash off your hands. if that's just what you want to do, I mean, so be it. But I'm saying, don't say nobody warned you when the math don't add up. You know, you know what I'm saying? Because the way I look at it, if I sell something on eBay, that's going right back into my doll fund stash. So the money that I make off of the eBay is not paying my bills. It's just going right back into my hobby. It's paying for more dolls. It's paying for more doll clothes. It's paying for props that I'm using to photograph them with. That's what the money is going towards. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, where everybody's helping everybody in one way or another. Let's see. Frida do be looking good. I know she is really like scrumptious right now. Like I didn't expect for her to look so different with her hair down, but I really like it a lot. The red color reminds me of the Wrinkle in Time collector's doll. Oh, you know what? That's true. That's true. This one, right? Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. My favorite out of the new 3 dolls. Well, once this alarm gets off of my device, I'll tell you. Sorry. I think my favorite one of the last 3, because I was saying I liked her the least at that time, because when her hair was tied up, I don't know, she just had a different vibe. But I liked these 2 the most. And honestly, I can't decide. I really don't think I like any one the most. I don't know. It's hard to pick. It's hard to choose. It's just hard. And I like them equally. I like them the same. And I did feel like I liked her the least. I really did. But honestly, with her hair down like this, she looks so brand new. Like I can just imagine how she's gonna look when I like really like get her into her own look, her own style. And I feel like her personality will come out. And that's why I love dolls so much, you guys. You don't have to keep them in their original state and just be stuck with them the way that they are. They're yours. You can do whatever you want with them, you know? Be as creative as you want. You can cut all her hair off if you want. Who cares? Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it with your dolls. You can express yourself through your dolls. You can explore different looks. Like, for example, I'm not a person who's into tattoos. I have one, but like, I'm not a tattoo person. But I can cover a doll in tattoos and kind of live vicariously through the doll. You know what I'm saying? So having that kind of freedom to do that, you know, it's a stress reliever for a lot of us. And that's why a lot of us call this doll therapy, because it's a way for you to express yourself, like how I was explaining with my diary and my poetry and my son's artwork. You know, for certain people, like some of us aren't good at drawing. Some of us aren't good at that, but we're good with fashion. We're good with putting outfits together. We're good with hairstyles. And that's all a way you can express yourself with the dolls, you know? Let's see. I ordered all 3, waiting for them to show up. Hi, Nola's Dolls and Aquatics. Oh, I have a doll named Nola. I named her after somebody's baby. I get what you are saying, said Infinite Star. Lauren said, turning red is about a 13-year-old girl. Her name is Meili. It's Chinese. Oh, Canadian? Oh, Aladdin? What? I missed this last part. Okay, I'm going to look that up. Alejandro Corona said, I don't like the Tamika head sculpt at all. To be honest, it literally just looks like Simone, but worse. They do look very similar. They look very much alike. But their head shapes are different. Hers is more like pointy. She reminds me of like a guitar pick, the way that her head is shaped. And then hers has more of an angular like jaw and cheekbone structure here. It's a little wider. But they look so similar. And to me, ooh, I like her side view too. Wow, she's really pretty sculpt. This is a very pretty sculpt. I joke around that she looks like a ghost because she's like charcoal, like dark, right? And then I've got her in this dark outfit, so she's like very ghostly looking when I have her next to my other dolls. She reminds me a lot of like Barbie's version of like a Shadow High doll, right? Let's see. But the Tamika sculpt, I think she has a good sculpt, but maybe the face up of this particular version is what's not translating well as far as her look. Perhaps she has a lot going on with her eyes, but I think that if it was more natural looking, she could probably be a really pretty sculpt. The sculpt itself reminds me a lot of like a real person's face, you know? She has a lot of very authentic features built into the sculpt. So it will probably be fun to experiment and try different looks. And I love repainting dolls that have darker skin tones because for some reason I feel like it's a lot easier to get a finished look that looks really seamless with the darker skin tones. And with the lighter tones, the paints show up so much more brighter and like noticeably. So if you make mistakes or if it's not quite symmetrical, it's harder to blend on the lighter skin tone dolls. But the darker ones, you can make mistakes and it's not as bad looking, I guess. So you kind of have room to play around with them. So I'm really curious to explore these sculpts as repaints, and at some point I think I am going to try my hand at repainting either like a whole nother doll or the ones that I've taken out of the boxes. I'm not sure yet, but we'll have to see. I kind of I didn't add anything to anybody's faces yet, but I did change the hair textures of some, like this one. She had the afro hair, of course, when I first got her, but I straightened her hair, so now the texture is different. But that's the original hair that she came with. I don't... Oh, yeah, I read that. Tamika looks very pretty, in my opinion, said Delicious. I thought I was only one that thought that, like, I dress them based on their personality. I feel that they have. Nah, man, I think a lot of us do that. I think a lot of us do that. I do that, but I don't do it with every doll. Some dolls, I don't really try to think about a personality so much as a look. Like, if I just want to have a bunch of dolls that are dressed in, like, rainbow colors, I'll just pick whatever random dolls I feel like dressing that way. But then some dolls, like, for example, like my twin characters, Reagan and Sierra, they have distinct personalities that go with their storylines. So when I dress them or style them, I'm mindful of what I think that character would pick out of her closet to wear and why. So if you notice, if you guys pay attention to my posts, if you look at the way that I have them displayed, you'll see that with Sierra, who's like the ratchet twin, she will wear more bolder looking outfits, more crazier looking hairstyles, more chunkier earrings. Like, she's real, like, ghetto looking, you know? But her personality is ghetto as hell, so like that makes sense. But then her twin, who's the complete opposite of her personality, she's, you know, and the joke about these twins is that they're having an identity crisis. They're like my joke on being a mixed person, you know what I'm saying? So the one twin is trying to gravitate towards her black side and she's overdoing it, and then the other twin is gravitating towards her white side and totally overdoing it. So Reagan's character, you'll see that she looks more sleek, she looks more put together, she looks more like more business style dressed, more classier looking clothes. She's a little bit more boho chic, you know. She just has more like a feminine look to her than her sister, who will like rock some big baggy jeans and a tank top and a bandana in her hair, you know. So it just depends. It depends on which dolls they are, but like definitely I think a lot of us do that. If my Heidi will come, I'll dress her up like in skirts and friendly looks. I don't know, she looks so cheerful. Yeah, I think she does. And like I said, they drew the smile on her in such a way that I don't think that this curvature in her mouth is actually in the vinyl itself. I think they drew her lip paint on to make it look like it's curved up like this. I don't know for sure because my lighting is going on me, but I'm gonna erase the ends here. See how it curves up? I'm gonna erase that like that so that her face looks a little more serious, because I'm not a big fan of like smiles like that, but I'm just curious to see how it'll look. So I think I'm gonna do that with her just to see. But I love the way she looks. I love her face sculpt a lot, and her outfit is really cool too. This is probably my favorite outfit of the ones that I've seen so far on the Barbie Looks dolls. It's all one piece. It's basically like a jumpsuit, and it has Velcro in the back. This belt strap looking thing is attached. I love the ruffles at the bottom of like how the material is kind of scrunched up. And the shoes are alright. I'm not into all the straps. I think I would have liked for it to be more like boots. But it doesn't look bad, and I don't think I have these same shoes in a different color, so that's different. So I do like that. Yeah, just as a note for those of you who don't have these dolls, they don't come with anything, you guys. These dolls only come with a stand, then they come in a box. At least these two look like this. And they come with a doll stand, and that's it inside the box. There's nothing else. So that's all you're gonna get if you're expecting a bunch of other stuff in there. Unfortunately, these are not the dolls. Okay, but I still prefer them over like Barbie Extras, because the Barbie Extras come with a lot of things, but it's a lot of stuff that I just don't have any use for, and the colors are so bright and like gaudy that I rarely ever dress my dolls like that. So to me, they don't function the way that I need my dolls to function for me to make it worth spending $25 a pop on those dolls. I did get the first wave of the Barbie Extra dolls, of course, and I did a review here if you guys want to check out my reaction to them, but they didn't impress me that much, and their hair quality sucked. So that really like put me off on those dolls. So I prefer these over those, but I do like the Barbie Extra dolls for what they are. I just wouldn't spend the retail prices on them. I would rather wait until their prices change and go down before I add them. But honestly, there's not that many of them that I even feel like I need or want at this stage, unless they come out with a. But see, like the Barbie Extra dolls, how many dolls are in that freaking line? Like that line is new too, and there's no signs of them stopping that line. They'll produce the next 7 waves of those dolls, you know what I'm saying? But like something like this, after 2 waves, they're like, oh yeah, no more, that's it, bye. You know what I mean? Like, come on. I'm falling in love with Heidi through your video, and that's what these videos are for, so we can get a closer look at these dolls, especially if we don't have them yet, or if we're thinking about getting them, or if we're waiting for our shipments to come and you're getting antsy, so you know what to expect. And if you have questions about them, then you have a way to get those questions answered. And like, she really reminds me a lot of one of my girlfriends, and she does too. And my girlfriend is the one that she reminds me of is Filipina, and the one that she reminds me of is, I want to say she's a white girl, but like I don't know exactly what kind of white she is. She's like, I'm not Irish, so I'm guessing she's Scottish, so I'm gonna make mine Scottish. But she's not Scottish like from Scotland. She's like, of Scottish descent. You know what I'm saying? But she's American. But she looks just her hair is red like this, so that's why she reminds me of her. And my girlfriend with the red hair, her hair texture is really weird because it's not. She has like 3 hair textures all in one. Like the top part of her hair will be curly, the next layer of hair will be wavy, and then the layer under that is straight. It's the weirdest thing ever, and I promise you I'm not making this up. Her hair is really like that. Like, it's so bizarre, but it's really soft and like pretty, and she reminds me of her. So when I saw the picture of these dolls when they came out, like I immediately sent those 2 girls pictures of them, and I was like, oh my god, now I can collect you guys in doll form. Yay, you can come live on my shelf. Let's see. The Pixar movie takes place, in Canada, okay. If my Heidi will come, okay, I read that. Most of my dolls only get a name after their personality and styles completed. Yeah, I have a whole book that I keep tabs on all of the dolls and their different names, and at this juncture, I believe all of my dolls have names except for my newest acquisitions. Like the dolls I bought in the last month, maybe. Some of them might not have names, but I think they do. But usually within a month, I'll have names for the dolls that are the newest in my collection. I think this one doesn't have a name. Do you have a name? Yeah, this is one of my new dolls, and I didn't have a chance to name her just yet. So, but yeah, like that. But most of my dolls, I do either have a name for them already, or like I'll name them while they're in transit, like while I'm still thinking about the dolls that I want to add. I'll be naming them. So like this one and the whole Barbie Look series, I gave them all nationalities and first and last names. This is probably the only collection of dolls where I did that, where I had like specific names and nationalities to go with each one, because I wanted them to all be a little bit different from each other and represent different parts of the world. This one, I named her Anais, and I think I wanted her to be from Sudan, and I don't have any dolls that represent Sudanese people. And then this one with the Frida sculpt. Ooh, shoot, girl, what you doing? Why you fall like that? Ain't nobody even touched you. Dang. Okay, but can you get up? No? What the heck? You guys, I told you, see this, I'm so clumsy. What did I even do that she fell? I don't even know. So annoying. Anyways, this one, I couldn't make up my mind about whether or not I want to use her as a mini-me. So if I don't use her as a mini-me, or a version of her as a mini-me, then this version, I'm calling her Xia, Xya, that's how I'm spelling it. And I want her to be Cambodian. And then this one, who I said I'll make her a Scottish girl, and I named her Merida Finley. Merida after the actual character Merida from the movie Brave. I have a Merida doll, but I think that she's like the human version of her, like the if Merida was a live action person, right? And she was just part of the modern day world, this might be a translation of her. Like that's what I'm thinking. And so I decided I'm gonna call her Merida. But I just like saying Merida, so that's really what that is. That's just my excuse. So gosh, get out of here. All right, so anyway, so this one I'm calling her Merida Finley, and then this one I'm calling her Xia Key, and then this one I'm calling her Anais Raja, and those are their names. So that's that, and all the rest of these girls have names too behind them. But anyway, so my lighting is definitely going on me, and it's almost 2 hours. This is not supposed to be that long, so I gotta get out of here, you guys. But leave comments when this video goes public. You can leave comments underneath to request if you have any questions or anything like that. If you want me to follow up with more details in my next stream, I'll keep that in mind. Let's see. Heidi just fainted. Yeah, you can. Oh, the extra fancy line. Yeah, I think maybe one of those. Do I want one of those? No. You know which one I'm going to get of the Barbie Extras? The one that has the Raquel sculpt, because I don't have my Raquel doll that I used to have from the Life in the Dream House series. I can't remember if I sold her or if I just forgot her behind in Carolina, because some of my dolls got lost during our move. So she might have been one that got lost, because I don't recall selling her. I don't know why I would sell that doll because I only had one. So for the sculpt, I think I will get that version of the Barbie Extras doll. But I'm not in a rush to get it, and I definitely don't want her for no $20, $30, $40. So if I happen to come across one on sale, I think I will probably add one then. But until then, I'm gonna hold off on the Barbie looks in general. I mean the Barbie Extras in general, because they're just not doing it for me at those price ranges. You feel me? Yeah. Cynthia, thank you for saying you have fun with me, because I have fun with you guys too. And you guys can share these videos when they're public so that your friends and your Dolly groups and forums can enjoy them as well and chime in on the conversation. And Jayu, can you can say by over here, the Barbie Extra that looks like Raquel doesn't have the Raquel face sculpt. Oh, thank you. She doesn't have the, what do you mean she doesn't have the Raquel face sculpt? She has a different face sculpt? What sculpt does she have? Why is everybody saying that she's a Raquel sculpt? I have to take a better look at the pictures, because I don't be really paying attention like that sometimes. If it's not a doll that's like really on my radar, I don't study the pictures and like look at them and look at reviews unless it's on my radar. Like it's something I really want to add soon to my collection, So I'll have to go and check it out so I can get more details. And then these guys, of course, I am going to open them. And we're going to rebody them and restyle them together. But I can't do it right now because I don't have time. And so we'll have to dedicate a separate video to doing that with these guys. But I'm so excited to open them, you guys. So I already waited 2 months. A couple days ain't going to kill me. So I'll just wait until the next time I can go live. And then we'll open these guys up together. And in the meantime, I think I'm going to use the Barbie looks one of the Ken's for his body, and for her I'm going to try the wheelchair doll, Fashionistas doll with the rainbow dress. I'm going to try her body, which is the same body that I have on this doll here. I'm still like struggling trying to figure out what skin tone will be good for her, but it's hard to tell, man. I don't know why. So this is the closest I think, and I think somebody else who had this doll said that they used that body and it worked fine. So I'm going to try it out. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna go and thank you guys for joining me and hanging out with me. This was fun. Why you gotta fall like that? OMG, stay put. Hello. And look out for my posts where I'll show you guys some pictures of these guys redressed, restyled, and so you can get a kind of idea of like how they might look when they're not in their original state. I wonder what her hair would look like straightened. But I don't have any curly haired, red haired dolls, so I should probably leave her alone. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens, okay? All right. Yeah, thank you, Minnie G, for saying you're looking forward to the next live. And we will catch you guys in the next one. Oh, she has a 2020 face mold, so that's why they're saying it's not Raquel. You know, good catch. Good catch. See, this is what I'm talking about. We influence one another. I was about to get this doll because I assumed that she had this sculpt that I'm missing. And then my fellow collector advising me and saying that's not the same head sculpt you're thinking of. That's making me rethink my decision. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I might still get it anyway because I did like the way that that doll looked in the pictures. But we'll see. Like I said, it ain't going to be no $30, $25 dishing out for that head though, you know? All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for chilling with me. My name is Gypsy if you're new here, and I hope you subscribe. Have a dolly day. Annyeong. Thank you, Hazik. Love you too. Bye. Okay, how do we end this? We gotta end it. We gotta do something. We gotta press something. That's not it. That's not what you press. Oh, that's not what you press either. Okay, you gotta press this thing right here. Adios.